A very good evening and welcome to Prime TV News, coming to you live and direct from the Prime TV studios with me, Abrar Abid. Now, before we go into our stories in detail, let's take a look at our headlines. Elections Commission blocks mudslinging on Facebook. 6, including Kanchipani's father, are arrested for attempting to take mobile phones to the prison. Sri Lankan Airlines issues a message to Apple users. First water detected on potentially habitable planet. Now, in our lead story, the National Elections Commission has informed the Sri Lanka Information Technology Association to monitor the operation of the social media during the presidential election period. This intimation was made during a discussion held between the Elections Commission Chairman Mahinda Deshapriya and the Sri Lanka Information Technology Association. The Sri Lanka Information Technology Association has pointed out that thousands of false Facebook and Twitter accounts had been designed targeting the elections scheduled to be held in the future. The head of the Sri Lanka Information Technology, Rajiv Kuruvitage, pointed out that the trend of the release of notes insulting various individuals as well as the issue hate statements on social media has increased. Sri Lankan Airlines has said that older generations of 15-inch MacBook Pro units will not be permitted in as checked in or carry on a luggage due to a safety risk announced by the Apple company. The company said that in a limited number of older generation 15-inch MacBook Pro units, the battery may overheat and pose a fire safety risk. Sri Lankan Airlines, as a safety measure, has requested the passengers to verify with Apple whether their devices are affected by the recall. The passengers upon check-in will be called upon to produce such verification or proof that the battery has been replaced. Togo President Faure Gnassingbe, who is on a 2-day official visit to Sri Lanka, called President Maithripala Sirisena last afternoon. The meeting took place at the President's office. Togo President Faure Gnassingbe, on arrival at the President's house, was accorded a warm welcome. Talks between the two presidents drew attention to expanding trade and investment links between Togo and Sri Lanka. The Togo president was due to participate in Sri Lanka to the initiative of a prizing of investment opportunities gathering of prominent Sri Lankan businessmen, and that they would be apprised of the investment opportunities available in Togo. The Sri Lankan president also took steps to brief the president of Togo on the April 21st attacks and on the joint actions taken by the Sri Lankan government and the security sectors to suppress terrorist activities. The president of Togo had said that the progress achieved by Sri Lanka will be briefed on Saturday to the defense conference that is scheduled to begin in Togo on Saturday in his country. Several ministers and parliamentarians joined in this occasion. In the weather update, the Disaster Management Centre has forecast a heavy rainfall of between 100 and 150 millimeters in the western, Sabaragamuwa and northwestern provinces and in the Galle and Matara districts. There will also be a lightning and thunder during the showers. As such, it has cautioned the public to be cautious. The Meteorology Department said there is a high possibility for afternoon thunder showers, particularly in eastern, Uva, central and north-central provinces and in Vavuniya and Mullaitivu districts. It claimed that showers or thunder showers will occur at times in western, Sabaragamuwa and northwestern provinces and in Galle and Matara districts, and heavy rainfall, about 100 to 150 millimeters, are likely at some places in these areas. Meanwhile, showers or thunder showers will occur at several places in the sea areas around the island. Winds will be westerly to southwesterly and speed will be between 30 to 40 kilometers per hour in the sea areas around the island. The sea area extending from Hambantota to Pottuwil and the sea area extending from Puttalam to Kankisenture via Mana can be rough at times, as the wind speed can increase up to 50 to 55 kilometers at times. Temporarily strong gusty winds and very rough seas can be expected during thunder showers. Minister P. Harrison has said that talks will be held with parties supporting the United National Party and present a symbol agreeable to all. The minister made this reference to the media following a function held in the Pemaduwa area in Villachia. Minister P. Harrison said that they had to draw their attention to the party symbol of the alliance. At the last election, they did not contest under the elephant symbol. As such, discussions should be held with the team on their symbol. They will later arrive at a decision. In more news at home, 13,375 families in the Mullaitivu district have received housing benefits during the last 4 years. Government expenditure on these activities exceeded 24,000 million rupees. A conference was held to make the media on the housing projects launched in the district.
Manager
of the Housing Development Authority, Vijitha K. Gamage, governmental as well as non-governmental institutions had made a massive contribution in the resettlement activities. Even the Housing Development Authority assisted in the resettlement process. The Housing Development Authority chairman said the number of families who had benefited in the project was 1,390. The investments made in this regard was 2,079.1 million rupees. 7 model villages have been vested in the people. Work on other villages is proceeding. The media personnel were given an opportunity to undertake an observation tour of the housing projects implemented by the Housing Development Authority in the Mullaitivu district. The housing issue was critical in the district following the war. However, in the past period, the number of the model villages constructed in the Mullaitivu district was 121. More projects are also in progress.
6 individuals, including the father and brother of Kanjipani Imran, have been taken into custody by officials of the Busa prison. 6 persons, including Kanjipani Imran's father and brother, had arrived at the prison to visit Kanjipani Imran despite strict security at a prison cell in the Busa prison. They have been arrested for attempting to smuggle mobile phones and mobile chargers into the Busa prison, along with 2 black plastic containers with rice and meat. They were permitted to visit the prison in keeping with National Prisoners' Day. Following this incident, prison officials arrested these suspects and handed them over to the Rath Gama police. In more news at home, Minister Ranjit Bandara has said that it is sad to note the trade union restoring to a work stoppage despite measures being adopted to solve the problems of the government administrative officers. Minister Ranjit Bandara said that administrative officers staged a strike submitting sick leave. They continuously talked about salary anomalies and a cabinet subcommittee was appointed to look into the issue, and the minister said, and a decision was taken. The officers had launched the strike while all measures were proceeding in this respect. The minister said it is sad to note that the action launched by the officers. Executive officers have also demanded such request. Necessary initiatives are also in progress. The minister said that the minimum salary of every worker has been increased during these past 5 years. The minister said that also the executive officers will get a salary increase by June next year. In more local news, the appeals court has agreed to accept the petition submitted by former Defence Secretary Gotabaya Rajapaksa. The Colombo Magistrates Court dismissed the petition filed by him, claiming that it is illegal to reject a preliminary objection filed with respect to the Avant-Garde case. This ruling was given by appeals court judges Achala Vengapalli and Arjuna Obesekara. The Bribery Commission filed a case in the Colombo Magistrates Court against Gotabaya Rajapaksa, claiming the maintenance of a floating armoury sans any approval by the Avant-Garde company near the Galle harbour had caused a loss of 11.4 billion rupees to the government. The Colombo Fort Magistrate had rejected the preliminary objection filed by Mr. Rajapaksa, calling for his acquittal from the case, claiming that the manner in which the case had been filed was illegal. Gotabaya Rajapaksa filed this petition in the appeals court, pointing out that this order was illegal. The Colombo Fort Magistrate Ranga Dissanayake today issued an order to the Human Rights Commission to examine and submit the report to the court whether it had been brought to the notice of about underworld gang leader Markandure Madhush being kept in the custody of criminal investigation and is being interrogated.
Markandare Madush is being detained and interrogated on charges of an attempt to assassinate and under the Terrorism Prevention Act. The attorney, Jalia Samarasinghe, informed the court that the Human Rights Commission had not been notified during the said period. Accordingly, the magistrate issued an order to the Secretary of the Human Rights Commission to submit a report in this respect. Sri Lankan Airlines, the national carrier of Sri Lanka and a member of the One World Alliance, celebrated 40 years of operations at Airline Centre, Katunayaka recently. State Minister of Finance Iran Vikramaratne was the chief guest at the occasion. Sri Lankan Airlines Chairman G.S. Vithanage, Chief Executive Officer Vipula Gunatilaka and many staff members were present at the event. Addressing the gathering, Minister said it was a proud moment for all that Sri Lankan Airlines marks 40 years of services. History of our aviation runs far back to over 70 years and are looking to a future where the national carrier is empowered to continue its mission of taking Sri Lanka to the world. He also said that as the national carrier, Sri Lankan is a significant contributor to the national economy and a catalyst in our country's tourism.
And that is all the news for today. Do join us again tomorrow for the very latest. For the Prime TV News team, I'm Abrar Abid. A very good evening and take care.